Hello. Hello?
And
Me.
what the heck? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I thought you were gonna start the show off like you usually do.
Nah,
It's not?
like something happened, but we all good. Yo, my bad, y'all. It's a little bit of a technical difficulty on my behalf, so just wanted to make sure we all was good. But you know what it is, and you know who it is. It's your boy Mike on Up and Coming Show, Breaking Bread. Today is going to be part two of This Is My Life with the lovely Karima. So before I go any further, I just want to say, Karima, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for taking the time because I know you're a very, very busy woman. So for you to be able to squeeze me in, I deeply appreciate that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. And just a little FYI, if guys want to see part three and part four, you have to go into my Breaking Bread Facebook page. I repeat, you got to go to my Breaking Bread Facebook page. I'm gonna leave all that information in the comments down below so you can do that. So, you ready to get into this, girl?
Somewhat, yes.
Right? Well, you better put on your big girl panties because we about to do what it do.
Okay, okay, okay. What are the
All
questions you
right.
have for me tonight?
Question number one. What are some of your worst childhood memories?
Some of my worst childhood memories. One in particular would be my mom having a stroke when I was about 12 or 13, and then her losing her ability to speak. So ever since I was 12 or 13,
Mm,
she was only able to say 4 or 5 words, like for the rest of her
oh,
life. So
wow.
from like 12 to 26, she uttered 4 words, maybe an occasional couple like extra curse words that came out. And but yeah, that was it. That was like one of the worst. And then like adjusting to life, like with that and then
Yeah.
like having to learn how to cook. So like the roles sort of like reversed at that point when I was like 13 because she had multiple strokes, stroke after stroke after stroke. So life just changed a bit. So and yeah, that was those were the worst childhood memories that I had growing up, you know. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the next question is not a question that I wrote down. It's kind of a run along question. So I want to ask, how did that make you feel during those moments? Like, how were you able to deal with it?
Well, I was just a kid, so I mean, I guess I didn't understand it fully. But it was hard. So, like I said, the roles were reversed. So then I feel like so part of my childhood was like taken. I feel like at that point I started becoming like a caregiver. So looking back now, I feel like I did a lot of caregiving for my mom, for my stepfather, for my grandmother, and then just like in general. So I feel like that's when my world started to change. Like she stopped driving, she stopped cooking. So I started to learn how to cook and I was terrible. So it was lovely woman because I don't even know how she was eating the food that I was cooking. It was trial and error, but so I just feel like my childhood was like changed, like I was just the caregiver. So I feel like I didn't do enough in my childhood, and even in my teenage years. So like it ran along with childhood into my teenage years. That's why I look back and I'm like, I didn't even do enough. I didn't do, but I don't regret it because I love that woman. So I just feel like that's how it altered my childhood. It was just completely
Mm,
different. As soon as I got
I
my
feel
license, I
that.
had
I
to take
feel
her to
that.
appointments, and yeah, so that was my life.
I feel
And
that.
I didn't go away to college. I wanted to go away to college, but I didn't want to leave her, so I stayed. I visited a school in South Carolina, but I ultimately didn't go. I went into the city.
Uh, okay. Well, I just want to say I commend you for doing that, for being so young and taking care of your mother. A lot of kids your age wouldn't know what to do, but for you to have the mental and emotional capability to get through, I just want to say I salute you for that, for real.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You have to take care of your parents, especially because she adopted me. So there was no doubt in my mind. Like she used the last of her life, I'm gonna use part of my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's it.
facts, facts.
Yeah.
Okay. Question number two. Name one childhood memory that you have that's good that you never forget.
Um, I have a couple, but I guess the first one I would say is like second or third grade. I remember when I was adopted. So that was a big deal. That was like the one of the best childhood memories that I had. I remember that because I was just like supposed to be there temporarily, but then she ended up adopting me. So I remember I was like maybe like 8 or 9. So that was like the best childhood memory. But also the ice skating lessons that I used to go on Staten Island. That's why I still love ice skating now. I feel like when I go to Central Park, it's just like it's like nostalgic. So like those are like the best childhood memories. And just like the block parties we used to have and then my birthday party, my Halloween birthday party. So those were the best childhood memories. Those were good. Do you have a follow-up question for those?
Yeah,
The
actually, I do.
animal
So, how were you feeling in those moments? Like, how did you feel when you got adopted? How did you feel when you had do when you did the ice skating thing? Like, trying to kind of elaborate on those feelings. Like, how did you feel at those moments?
Well, ice skating, like I said, it still brings me a lot of joy. Like, first of all, none of my friends ice skate. I only have one cousin that skates, but I love it. I don't know, just ice skating just brings me like so much peace and stuff. And I guess it started when I was a kid. I don't know. It just I really love ice skating more than bike riding, more than rollerblading, and I think probably that's because I did it before my mom got sick. So I feel like that was one of the like I was a brownie and an ice skating. So I feel like those were like the last two things that she was able, to bring me to. So I feel like I maybe like I attach it to when she was healthy and she was able to do stuff. You know what I mean? So I think that's why it's like a gift she gave me. You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
why it's such a cherished memory. And literally when I'm skating around Central Park, I'm just like, it's just like the best feeling in the whole wide world. And then of course when I was adopted, I was really happy. But I think I like I said, I think looking back, because even growing up, I didn't, you're a kid, you really don't appreciate that much stuff. But so looking back, I mean, this woman was 57 when she brought me in temporarily. 57.
wow,
All the kids were older. So I now like, obviously by the time I was like 18, like I really cherished it. But I was happy, happy. I was happy to miss a day of school because I never miss school. I never get sick. So I was really happy and like that, able to get her last
yeah,
name. I was ecstatic. And block parties, those were amazing. Every summer, Samantha came, me and Jasmine was younger, but we had a good time. Our cousins would come, like block parties were good. Block parties, like it's a whole
nah,
block is
facts.
yeah. And then I was talking about that recently with my cousin. Like it's nothing like they don't have block parties anymore. And those was like the family would come over, they had the rides, and we're like, first of all, why are we on a ride that ricochets like this on the top of a hill? I lived on a hill. I'm like, yo, we're
Yeah,
crazy
word.
when you think about it. Why are we on these now? I don't even want to get on a carnival ride. I'm like, because they pick it up and bring it. But that was a truck. So I don't know. I don't know. But those were good memories. Block parties. We were going on and on and on recently, like 3 weeks ago, about how we really missed the block parties. I think we miss like the memories and like the family and the elders and the youth. And so those are my best memories. Block parties every summer. Those were good. Barbecue here, crab legs here. Like it don't get any better. Your
Nah,
aunt would
that's a
come. It
fact.
was amazing. Yeah, we had a good time. So
That's a
those were my
fact. Black
favorites.
parties were definitely lit.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all had those out there? I'm sure y'all had them, right?
Of course, in Brooklyn, hell yeah, we have black parties, man.
Right. Ain't nothing
Please.
like it, right?
Yeah, ain't nothing like it. They don't do that no more, man. We
That's
need to
what I'm
normalize.
saying.
But the thing is, the reason why they don't do that no more is because people on the block don't even know each other or they beefing with
That's
each
true.
other. Like,
That's
you know what I'm
true.
saying?
That's true.
So,
What, you're right about that because every neighbor knew this neighbor. You shoveling like on my block. You know what I mean? Like it was just like we were family.
exactly.
And you're right. We don't have
Exactly.
that. We don't have that anymore. There's no village. We're missing a lot. And then plus people don't know how to have fun without anything escalating. So it's multiple things. But block parties, that was a good memory from childhood.
Facts, facts. All right. Question number three. Actually, for all the people that are watching, I kind of want you to answer this question too. So the people that are watching, please leave your response in the comments. Question number three. What is the biggest fear you have now?
The biggest fear I have now is I would say it's sort of like multi-layered, but if I had to like describe it in one, so I'm a New Yorker, so I'm talking with my hands, but like not living my life to like my fullest potential. I feel like I or like having regrets. So that's my biggest fear. Like that's why yeah, that's why any dream I have, I just go after that, not being like a a really, really good mom, but really like not just like 50% of my capacity and leaving the other 50% out. Like that's really my biggest fear is not going after what I really want because I'm allowing fear to 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 basically cripple me. So not living a fulfilled life and leaving my potential like on the desk or like at the door. That's my biggest fear. So
Okay, so this is a run
living a
along
life
question. This is
yeah.
not
Living
a
a life that's
question.
average, right?
Got you. This is a run along question. So, do you have a remedy for that fear?
So it's new. So in the last 2 to 3 years, I can say that I've been forcing myself out of my comfort zone. So for so long, I just would like not live my fullest potential. Like I feel like I would like do just enough to like go after like my dream. But I feel even now I still feel like I'm not. I'm like living maybe like 60%. So when I listen to ET, like, oh, you're not living 120%. You're only living 60%. I'm like, that's how I feel. I know I'm not living. I know I'm not doing all that I can do. Basically, that's what I'm saying. I feel like, oh, I got my law degree. Like, no, and it's not enough for me. So I feel like the remedy is in the last 2 to 3 years, I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Like acting classes, like modeling gigs, because I'm not a model. I don't like my picture taken. I like to take pictures of people. I don't want to be the center of attention. I like to be the background. I like to like observe. And I'm an introverted extrovert, which doesn't make any sense, but I don't know, just sometimes I'm introverted, sometimes I'm extroverted. So my remedy is like just making myself do more and forcing myself to do things that are uncomfortable because I know that once I get past that, the possibilities are like endless. So that's my remedy, like literally like forcing myself and like not talking myself out of it because I will talk myself out of I used to. I can't say now. I'm not talking myself out of things anymore. Like I wanted to go to this actors workshop that I saw on Instagram. I'm like, no, I'm not going by myself and not letting myself just because I'm going by like going alone. So I'm doing more things alone. Like I'm about to do an open mic. I'm just doing it because I need I want to be a better speaker. So I'm forcing myself, like I said, to do things that are out of my comfort zone. Like so that's my remedy. Just pushing myself. You gotta push and I push so I literally push other people. I need to push myself as much as I push other people. That's my remedy.
Amen to that, because that I can definitely identify with. You know, I am an excellent person when it comes to motivating somebody else. But when it comes time for me to handle my shit, it's a different story. Like I am the biggest procrastinator when it comes for me to handle my business. So
Yep.
that's something that I feel I have to do myself. And
Yep.
also, I agree with you as far as being a introvert, extrovert, because I'm the same way too. Like I have my moments where I want to be around everybody. I want to talk to everybody. And I have my moments where I'm just like, yo, bro, like, give me 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right, right. Social distancing, seriously. And then I told you about the jar. So the jar helps as well. Even though I haven't
yeah.
picked out anything, the jar of just like picking things to do, like things you always wanted to do. Because like I said, we are just sitting here. Also, a remedy is no, we don't have them. We don't know how much time we have. So if you look at it that way, that's a remedy. Like we always say what we
Mm,
want to do, but we don't know. Like we just have to do it. We have to act like we don't have this is our last year or this like they say, what do they say all the time? They say, what if you had 1 year to live? How would you live? How would you live differently? So if you think about it
mm,
like that, we don't know how much time we have. So we have to just do it. You want to lose weight, do it. You want to act, do it. You want to ask that girl out at your job, do it. You just have to look at it like, what if they say no? It doesn't matter. Just do it. Like Nike said, just do it. That's the remedy of life because we really do not know. So,
amen to that.
yep.
Amen to that. I'm about to start using that analogy seriously because it makes a whole bunch of sense. It really does.
Yeah. Once you start listening to like all these motivational speeches and like speakers, and I listened to so many different ones, like from different backgrounds, and some that weren't even initially motivational speakers, like some were lawyers, some were actors, some were comedians, like, and then you listen to them. One guy was like a Buddhist, Jay Shetty. He was like four different things, and then
Oh, I know Jay Shetty. Yeah.
yeah, he's amazing. He's literally amazing. Like it's so many motivate. I'm like my algorithm is all over the place. Like Tony Robbins, like Ed Miles. Like this is guy, he's a quadriplegic. He has no arms and no legs. Have you ever seen him? And I'm like,
No,
and
I don't think so.
that when I see that, I'm like, see, no, that also puts you in perspective too, because the nerve of you know what I mean? Like there's nothing wrong with us. We think, and then you once you look at other people's situation and you look at yours, like that puts you in perspective too. So that's a remedy. It's like life and the universe or God, whatever you believe in, is like sort of like checking you. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
look what they're doing, and then you're complaining because oh you have to go to work at 2, you have to do like no, I need to stop making excuses, and I'm trying to hold myself more accountable. So I hold
Hmm.
my friends more accountable. I need to hold myself more accountable. So that's a remedy too. Like no, no, nothing. I just have to do it, and that's it. Act like it cannot wait till the next day. So
X. X.
yep.
Okay. Question
And
number
sorry.
four.
And lastly, I
Yeah.
can say like since I was adopted, I guess I'm trying, you know what I mean? Like I want to make my mom proud, even though she's no longer here. I feel like she's still watching me. So that's another remedy. The people that saw something in you, you want to show them what you can do. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
that's another thing that's another push in life, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. Amen to that. Amen to
Yep.
that for real.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Question number four. How did you heal from your most painful relationship?
Um, so I personally think I'm still healing from like painful relationships, I guess like family wise or like romantic relationships. I'm someone who's like always, always, always busy. So it wasn't until the pandemic that I finally had some downtime. So like I didn't watch TV for years. I just was always like on 1,000 and on go. People think I'm on go right now. This is nothing compared to like pre-pandemic. Like I was like all over the place in the city, working in Jersey, doing this, going to Staten Island. I went to law school from Staten Island to Long Island. Sometimes I would give my brother the car to bring my son to school. Actually, 90% of the time. So I was traveling three until I bought a second car, 3 hours each way from Staten Island to Long Island. The bus to the boat to train to the Long Island Railroad at Penn Station. So I feel like I was always so used to not having time to deal with painful relationships that now that I have some time, like I told you, I've been having these aha moments and stuff. So that's how I'm just the last 2 years I've been having the aha moments, and I'm just reassessing how I move and how I handle my friendships and like my relationships and then with my family. So healing from my most painful relationships is like assessing and speaking up more. So I'm someone who I think to keep the peace, I don't say anything, or that might be PTSD from my abusive relationship where I just don't say when somebody hurts my feelings. But over the last year, now I'm saying it. You hurt my feelings, I'm not shutting down. I'm going to let you know, even what you did to me as a child, because I feel like you need to know. Like maybe you didn't know. So I spoke on to about 6 or 7 family members, like you did this and you did this, and this is how I felt and I felt this way. So that's how I'm healing from all my painful relationships because I just need to be a better me. And that's it. And I realized keeping the peace, like staying quiet, is not keeping the peace. That's not keeping the peace. Because my feelings are still hurt. You know what I mean? So that's how I'm healing. I was in therapy briefly, like years ago, but he didn't look like me. So I feel like I need somebody that looks like me, and my procrastination has still not allowed me to choose another therapist. But I think just journaling, meditating, prayer, and just it takes me a second to realize like where I'm wrong. So someone can give me some criticism. And like I said, I think this is stems from the abusive relationship. So sometimes somebody will tell me something and like I shut down, like because and they don't even have to say it in a rude way, but if it's in a rude way, I definitely don't take it. But even if they said it in a like a in a less rude way, I feel like the criticism that I received in that abusive relationship, it also hinders me from hearing, because that's what they say, unhealed trauma or unhealed people hear with their triggers. You heard that saying before, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I
They don't
did.
hear what you're saying, they hear through their triggers. So I think that's what I was doing, because it takes me, somebody could say something to me And then I don't know if it's delayed or something, because then it'll take me a couple hours or like a day. And I'm like, you know what? They were right. Like, I do need to, you know what I mean? So I'm working on myself. I've been working on myself for a while, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm really proud of myself. So, but I have a lot of work to do.
Okay. Okay, of course. I mean, we all do. As long as you got breath in your body to try to make it work, that's all you need, man. And everything else will work out in its own way, you know?
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. So that's how I'm healing from all these relationships. Because family too. Family, that really, if you think about it, that's where it all starts. You know what I mean? Like our parents or just family in general, those are our first relationships. So, and that it triggers all the way down to adulthood. So
It really does. Amen. It
yeah,
really does, yo.
yeah. And yep. It's so sad too, like how it's just we just gotta like even as a parent, we're still unhealed, but still trying to raise children. And the kids don't
Hmm.
realize that. Kids don't realize that. And that's why I tell some of my teenage cousins, you got to give your parents a little grace. So I'm also giving I'm giving myself more grace. That's how I'm healing. I feel like I don't give myself enough grace. So I'm learning to give myself more grace and telling other people to give themselves more grace and their parents too. Because we are all just out here trying. That's all we're doing. We just trying to figure it out at every age. That's how I feel. So
Amen to that.
yep, but I'm
All
enjoying
right,
these happy
well,
moments.
this is the ending of the show. So I'm gonna do something new. I'm gonna try it out to see how it works. I
Okay.
have questions 1 through 25 pre-written. Either you can choose a number from there, or I can ask you a random question on my mind. But here's the kicker to it. If you choose not to answer the question that's on my mind, or you choose not to answer the questions I have pre-written, you have to tell an embarrassing secret about yourself.
Wow. No, I'm gonna answer.
Okay, so would you rather me ask you a random question on my mind, or would you want to pick a number 1 through 25?
I mean, they're both random, so I'm gonna go with. I should go with a random, but I'm not. I'm gonna pick a number. I'm gonna pick number um 14. No, I'm sorry, 16.
16?
Yes.
Okay. It's crazy how this one came up. All right. $1 million a month for life, but you have to be single. Or $1 million one time and you're happily married.
$1 million one time, and I'm happily married. I'm gonna make that $1 million work, and I'm not telling my
Why?
husband. Just kidding.
Why'd you pick that one?
Because who wants to be? I mean, $1 million multiple times would be great, but then I'd rather be happily married with $1 million instead of single for the rest of my life and getting multiple increments. Because I ultimately want to be married. And then you said happily married? Most people are
Yeah,
not happily married. And so once you
that's
put
a
that
fact.
word in, I mean you have to work to be happily married. But yeah, there's no way you paying me to be single for the rest of my life. No, that's not a good choice. Nope. No, thank you. I want to be
All
happily
right.
married. I want to be happily married with my $1 million in my bank account that nobody knows about and
Oh yeah, I forgot. You said you're not telling your husband. I forgot.
get a financial advisor. I would tell him, I would let him know that I got a whole $400,000 and like, what are we gonna do with it?
Yo, you ain't shit.
What, $400,000? That's
So
a
you
lot of money.
telling
That's
me,
a lot of
you
money
telling
for
me,
us.
so you're not gonna
That's
tell
a
him about
lot
the
of
other
money for
six
us.
hundred thousand?
Yeah, eventually, but he don't need to know about it in increments. In increments. Okay. How long I've been
Mm.
happily married? First of all.
I mean, it's no time frame. You're just
Exactly.
happily
It sounds like
married.
nope. Because do I have a prenup? Because it sounds like I don't know how we maybe was just married for a year. He don't need to know about my $1 million. The older women they be saying you're not supposed to tell the left hand with the right hand. You heard that saying. He don't need to know about the
Mm.
million. 500 grand. I'm gonna raise it a little bit. We got 500 grand, and we'll see. And we get because you know what? It's good for the woman to have somebody to the side in case we get into some trouble. I'm not gonna keep it for myself. I'm gonna put in Spurs. So I'm gonna have a financial advisor, put some money on the house. Like, I'm gonna use it, but he don't need to know about the whole thing. It's gonna be used in the marriage, but he don't need to know about it. You know what I mean? Until he needs to know about it. So
Okay, I respect that answer.
thank you. And maybe I put in trust CDs where I can't even touch it. I'm not going to be blowing it, but yeah, I'm taking
Okay,
I'm taking the money. Happily married. I like that. I like that question.
okay. So, you have any words of inspiration for the people that are watching?
I do, but how about what would you choose, Meek, if I asked you that question?
I mean, the same thing you chose, happily married with a million one time, because at the end of the day, a lot of people chase that bag and chase money, but be miserable as fuck. And, I'm always going to choose my happiness over everything because whether I'm a millionaire or I'm a thousandaire, if I'm happy, I'm going to be happy and I'm going to die happy. I would
That's
rather that versus having all the money and be miserable, you know?
right, 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 right. Single, right. And then it's like you have to be single the rest of your life. It's not even like it's a certain time frame. You know
Yeah,
what I
you
mean?
have to. Yeah, man,
Yeah,
I'm
who
good.
wants to be single, right, for the rest of their life? And I guess I would say my words of inspiration would be go after what you want because the biggest regret at the end of your life is things that you chose not to do opposed to what you actually did. So just go after your dream and if you fail, you fail, at least you tried, but just any
Hmm.
dream is obtainable, really, like I'm telling you. Because I've been through some stuff and like there's literally nothing that we cannot do. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. And the thing is if I heard Steve Harvey said he said if you could imagine it, that means that it was placed inside your heart and in your mind for a reason. You know what I mean? Like it's not just something you thought of. It's literally because it can happen. And I'm a proponent. I know that. If you can think it, it can happen. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it or that you need to stay on this course of this career. That's it. Just do it. You think it, do it. Go after it. Never too old.
I like that. I like that. I like that.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Well, for me, I would keep it simple and straight to the point. So I'm just going to say it like this. Learn to love yourself first because nobody will love you if you don't give them anything to love, and nobody will show you. So learn to love yourself first before you try to love anybody else.
That's good.
That's all I got.
I like that.
Thank you. But you know the motto and you know the saying. As always, spread love, not hate. Chase our dreams. We out of here.